Hey y'all, I'm Rachel Moncrief, and I will be talking about Chapter 16 on antecedent intervention, which is also known as antecedent control procedures or antecedent manipulation. So, the first thing I want to talk about is what is an antecedent. So, an antecedent is the addition to a stimulus before a behavior. And these behaviors are normally problem behaviors, so that's kind of why we want to introduce the antecedent with the stimulus before the behavior to help prevent the problem behavior from happening. So, these stimuluses can look like the introduction to new things, new events, new objects, or like the taking away of these objects that trigger the whatever the problem behavior is. So basically, antecedent intervention means changing the environment or triggers to encourage good behaviors that can be rewarded while reducing the unwanted bad behaviors. So basically, the antecedent is placed beforehand to prevent the problem behavior from happening later. So, my example of this, I've worked at a daycare for 3 years, and one thing that almost every single day triggers and causes tantrums and problem behaviors is when kids come in and they bring toys from home to daycare and then they have a problem with putting it up and being told to put it up and that they can't have the toy. So I've realized that I've been using antecedent intervention without realizing I've been using antecedent intervention. So the first way to kind of use antecedent intervention and prevent the problem behavior is usually providing a visual or verbal reminder. So I could be like, hey, breakfast is in 5 minutes. In 5 minutes, we're putting our toys up. And that kind of gives them time to process what's going on. Like, hey, I have 5 minutes, then I will put the toy up, and then I have breakfast. Instead of just saying, hey, put your toy up now. It gives them more time to process and kind of prevents the behavior because they're not so caught off guard. The next one is to offer them a choice, and this is something that works well in a lot of situations with children, and because it gives them a sense of control and like can reduce resistance. So you can say, do you want to put it in your backpack, or do you want me to put it in your backpack, or do you want help putting it in your backpack? And that kind of gives them like a choice and like, oh, I'm in control. I can put it in my own backpack. So another example of of an antecedent would be using like transition objects or like activities, and that kind of lets put some more fun way and like a distraction almost from the fact that they are having to put up their toy that they want. So you can say, after you put this in your backpack, you can be the line leader. Or after you put this in your backpack, we can go play Duck Duck Goose, or we can go play Sinners, and it gives them something else to look forward to besides so they don't think about the fact that they are putting up the toy, and most of the time putting up the toy causes that problem behavior. It just gives a something else to think about. So another antecedent would be modifying the environment. So if it's something, like I said, this is something that happens every single day among all age ranges. Um, and so creating a routine and saying like, okay, every single morning after or before breakfast, we are going to put our toys up in our backpacks, and creating that routine so they know that this is toy time when we're putting our toys up so we can go to breakfast, and just giving a routine and a schedule that can also help prevent the problem behaviors from happening because they know this is something they do every single day and it's part of their routine. So this was chapter 16 on antecedent intervention.